Listen up, fellow Stoics of the digital age. Have you ever walked away from a disagreement feeling lost? Even when you knew you were right? Your point seemed to vanish into thin air. Emotions spiraled, and you were left with that deeply draining feeling of being completely unheard. It's an experience that can make you question the power of your own voice. But what if the secret to navigating these moments wasn't about being louder, but about borrowing the calm, strategic wisdom of an ancient Roman emperor? What if there were principles that could empower anyone to stay composed, think rationally, and calmly guide a conversation to a truthful conclusion? Stay with us as we uncover 8 secrets from Marcus Aurelius that might just change the way you approach disagreements forever. The word argument often brings to mind conflict, raised voices, and a battle of egos. But for the Stoics and for the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a disagreement was something else entirely. It was an opportunity to practice virtue, to seek truth, and most importantly, to maintain your inner peace. In this video, we're redefining what it means to win. This isn't about crushing an opponent or having the last word. The Stoic victory is quieter, yet profoundly more powerful. It's the victory of self-control, of unshakable composure, and of guiding a conversation with such skill that the outcome is rooted in reason, not reactivity. And hey, this isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a modern-day superpower for anyone who has to navigate a world of constant negotiation in the boardroom, at home, and in every space in between. These aren't tricks. They are timeless strategies for cultivating inner strength. Now, shall we dive in? Secret 1. Master the strategic pause. The first secret is perhaps the most counterintuitive: the power of silence. When faced with a heated statement, our first instinct is to defend, to correct, to fire back immediately. But the Stoics teach us a different way. They understood that in many situations, choosing silence is more valuable than speaking. In a disagreement, a deliberate pause is your greatest ally. When you stay silent, 2 things happen. First, you give yourself a crucial moment to manage your own emotional response, preventing a knee-jerk reaction you might later regret. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, true strength is found in tranquility, not in outbursts of passion. Second, your silence creates a void. People are often uncomfortable with that void and will rush to fill it, frequently revealing more about their position, their insecurities, or the weak spots in their own argument. Picture this: a colleague publicly questions your project's data. Instead of immediately getting defensive, you pause. You hold their gaze calmly for a few seconds. That silence is powerful. It communicates confidence. It subtly challenges them to continue, and often they'll either backpedal or over-explain, weakening their own stance before you've even said a word. That is the strategic pause. It's not passive. It's an act of quiet control. Secret 2. Detach from the need to be right. The ego's greatest desire in an argument is validation. It wants to be declared the winner. Secret number 2 is to let go of this desire entirely. The Stoic win isn't about proving you are right. It's about achieving a rational outcome while protecting your own tranquility. The Stoics taught that our primary goal should be the pursuit of truth. To be shown you are wrong is not a defeat, but a victory, for you have moved closer to truth and away from ignorance. It is only the person who clings to their self-deception who is truly harmed. This mindset transforms you from a combatant into a collaborator. You are no longer fighting against the other person. You are both on a shared mission to find the truth. Think about a recurring argument with a partner. The typical fight is a cycle of blame and defense. But if you detach from being right, you can shift the conversation. You might say, "It sounds like you feel I'm not doing my fair share." And maybe there's truth in that. My goal isn't to win this argument. It's for us to find a system that feels fair to both of us. Let's solve that. Suddenly, you are no longer adversaries. You have removed the ego from the equation, and the argument dissolves, replaced by a problem-solving session. The true victory here isn't getting them to admit you were right. It's finding peace and a workable solution. Secret 3. Control your perception, not their words. This is the cornerstone of all Stoic thought and the most powerful secret for navigating disagreements. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This extends to other people's words, their accusations, their anger, their flawed logic. These are external events. They have no power to disturb you unless you grant them that power. As Epictetus wisely put it, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgment of them. If someone calls you too emotional, you have a choice. You can perceive it as a devastating insult, allowing frustration to rise, or you can perceive it as simply their opinion, born from their own perspective, which has no bearing on your reality. A person using this secret hears a critique not as a personal attack, but as data. When a manager says, "Your approach is too aggressive," she doesn't internalize the sting of the word. Instead, she files it away as information. My direct communication style is being perceived this way in this environment. How can I adjust my delivery to be more effective without compromising my message? She controls her perception. She sees their words not as a final judgment, but as a reflection of their own filters. By refusing to let their words cause her pain, she remains calm, rational, and in complete control of the situation. She has already won the most important battle, the one for her own mind. Secret 4. Ask questions, don't make accusations. When you feel attacked, the urge is to make counterstatements. "You're wrong. That's not what happened." But statements invite opposition. They create a wall for the other person to push against. The Stoic-inspired approach, much like the Socratic method, is to dismantle an argument using questions. Questions are disarming. They force the other person to examine their own logic and often lead them to find the flaws in their own argument. Instead of defending yourself, you put the burden of proof back on them. Let's say someone accuses you of being selfish for pursuing a goal. The emotional response is to list all the selfless things you've done. The strategic response is to ask questions. What specifically have I done that makes you feel that way? What would a less selfish path look like to you? Can you help me understand your concern? Notice how these questions aren't aggressive. They are genuinely curious. They force the other person to move from vague, emotional accusations to specific points you can then address calmly. Often, in trying to answer, they will realize their accusation was based on emotion, not fact. You haven't argued at all. You've simply guided them, with questions, to a more rational place. If these secrets are already changing the way you think about disagreements, go on and show your support by giving this video a thumbs up so more people can discover this timeless wisdom. Secret 5. Argue with logic, not emotion. Stoicism posits that our highest faculty is reason. It's a powerful reminder that your greatest strength in any disagreement is your ability to remain logical when others descend into emotion. When an argument becomes heated, emotions act like fog, obscuring the truth. The person who remains clear-headed holds all the power. This means relying on facts, evidence, and clear reasoning. Imagine you're in a meeting advocating for a budget increase, and a colleague objects, saying it feels too risky. The word "feels" is a red flag for emotional reasoning. An unskilled response would be to argue about feelings. It's not risky, it's necessary. A person armed with Stoic wisdom would respond with logic. They might say, "I understand the concern about risk. Let's look at the data together. Last quarter's pilot program showed a 30% return on a smaller investment. The market projections for the next 6 months support this expansion. Here are the specific figures." They don't argue with the feeling of risk. They make it irrelevant by presenting indisputable logic. They elevate the conversation from the swamp of emotion to the firm ground of reason. In doing so, they not only appear more credible but also make it nearly impossible for an opponent to argue without looking foolish. Secret 6. Turn their obstacle into your way. A core principle of Stoicism is the idea of turning obstacles upside down. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius noted that whatever stands in the way can become the way forward. In an argument, your opponent's strongest point is not a wall, it's a doorway. When someone presents a powerful counter-argument, don't try to smash through it. Instead, incorporate it into your own position. Acknowledge its validity and then use it to strengthen your case. This is a master-level technique that completely disarms your opponent. Let's say you're pitching a 4-day work week to your leadership. The main objection is, we will lose a full day of productivity. Instead of fighting this, you embrace it. You say, you're absolutely right to be concerned about productivity. That's the primary obstacle. And that's precisely why this plan is designed not around working less, but around working smarter. Studies from companies that have made this switch show that with a compressed work week, focus skyrockets and meetings become more efficient, leading to a net increase in productivity per hour. The obstacle of the lost day actually becomes the catalyst for a more efficient system. You have taken their biggest fear, validated it, and reframed it as the very reason your plan is necessary. You haven't defeated their argument, you have absorbed it. The obstacle has become the way. Secret 7. Speak with virtue, not for ego. For the Stoics, every action, including speech, was an opportunity to practice virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This means that in an argument, your ultimate goal should not be to serve your ego, but to serve the truth, to act justly, and to speak with courage and moderation. This reframes the entire purpose of the disagreement. You are no longer there to win for yourself. You are there as an agent of reason. This gives your words incredible weight and integrity. Consider a situation where you must confront someone who has been spreading rumors. The ego wants revenge. It wants to humiliate them. But a virtuous approach is different. You speak not from anger, but from a place of justice. You might say, privately, I need to address what you've been saying about me. It isn't true, and it is causing harm. My goal here is not to punish you, but to restore the truth and ensure this stops. Your tone is not hateful. It is firm and just. You are not seeking personal victory. You are seeking a righteous outcome. People can feel this difference. An argument driven by ego feels like an attack. An argument driven by virtue feels like a necessary correction. By aligning your words with a higher purpose, you gain a moral authority that is far more persuasive. Secret 8. Know the ultimate power of walking away. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every argument deserves your energy. The final and perhaps most liberating secret is the wisdom to know when to disengage. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, he would meet meddling, ungrateful, and arrogant people. He accepted this as a fact of life, which meant he didn't feel obligated to fix every wrong he encountered. Sometimes, winning an argument means refusing to have it in the first place. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of immense strength and self-respect. You are making a conscious decision that your inner peace is more valuable than proving a point to someone who is unwilling to listen. You might be in a debate online with a stranger who is clearly arguing in bad faith. You might be with a family member who is determined to misunderstand you. You present your case calmly and logically. They respond with emotion or insults. Here, the Stoic victory is to simply say, "It seems we are not going to agree on this," and then walk away physically or digitally. You are not surrendering. You are conserving your most precious resource, your time and your tranquility. You have won because you chose to protect your own well-being over a futile conflict. That is the ultimate power. Conclusion. Well, my delightful virtual companions, as we draw the curtain on this journey through the hallowed halls of Stoicism. It seems these age-old principles fit so snugly into our frantic, modern existence. Just goes to show, some truths are truly timeless, eh? The 8 secrets we've discussed: mastering silence, detaching from the outcome, controlling your perception, asking questions, using logic, turning obstacles into the way, speaking with virtue, and knowing when to walk away are not about manipulation. They are about empowerment. True victory is not found in the defeat of another, but in the mastery of oneself. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can navigate any disagreement with grace, reason, and unshakable inner peace. By embodying these principles, you do more than just win arguments. You cultivate a strength and composure that will radiate through every aspect of your life. Now, I've got a cheeky little challenge for you all. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share which of these Stoic gems resonated with you the most. Let's get this conversation started so we can learn from each other. And before you dive headfirst into the world, armed with this newfound Stoic wisdom, if you found even an ounce of value today, do consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell. Not for the sake of vanity metrics, oh no, but so we can continue this dance of wisdom, sharing, and growth. Until our next digital rendezvous, keep the fire of curiosity burning and the spirit of Stoicism alive.